Melissa here, and today I am back with a layout for Tanya Leigh Designz. For those of you that don't know, Tanya Leigh Designz is a New Zealand-based scrapbooking company, and she produces digital kits. I think she also has some actual physical product in her shop. I'll leave the link below. So what I'm working with is the February kit, which is called, I think it's called I Heart February. And so what I'll do first, maybe I'll show you this. So what I did was, you get everything digitally, and she has, as well as papers, she has, no, actually maybe I will show you the kit first and then I can explain myself. So these are the ephemera or die cuts. Now you could get your silhouette to cut these. I haven't done that for a long time, and I still need to practice doing that. So once I know how to do that, I will do a little tutorial. But if you don't have a silhouette, they're pretty easy to just cut around. So those are the die cuts. These are the labels, which I absolutely love. You could print them bigger as well, it's up to you, but I just printed them at the size that she had them, and I quite like them because if I show you the photos, which I haven't trimmed out, they're quite small, so I think the smaller size labels are going to work. And then here are the papers. Now I don't have the names of these papers, but when you get your kit you can certainly see them. So this one is a beautiful notebook print. Turn them around. This one is hearts on a black and white. This one I think I'm going to fussy cut some of these hearts. This one I think is called White Wood Grain, so that's really beautiful. There's a pink and white polka dot. This one reminds me of, there's like a fabric kind of sequin material, that you can get. That reminds me of that. And then there's also tiny words, but I decided not to use them because they're quite red. They're not going to go with what I'm doing, but you could certainly use them. These are some washi strips, and you can choose what size to print them as well. Really sweet, and I love that you can just easily cut them out. And then I had to print this, and I may have printed it too small, but it's an envelope that you can cut out, and there's also a place to show where to fold. So I'm going to incorporate that into my layout. So I'll leave that. I'll get a piece of paper so you can see. I think this one. So there's also Project Life cards, 3x4 cards, and tags. So what I did was I took one of the tags, and I think it said love you, but I just wanted the U. And I've got the inner part of that O still on my silhouette mat, but when you watch the video you'll be able to see what I do. So what I did was I turned the, I think it's a PNG, or is it a JPEG? I think it's a JPEG. JPEG into a cut file just by tracing it. And then in the middle of these, I think it had some like texture, but I got rid of that. And I got rid of the U, or the love, sorry, moved the word U up to here, and then cut it. So I'm going to use that on my layout. So that is what I'm using, and I just want you to just sit back now and watch and enjoy my process. So I'll be back in a sec. So what I forgot to say was that I didn't print all of the paper. I went through the digital kit, and I just selected the papers that I thought would suit me, my style. There are some papers that are shabby kind of design that aren't quite me. I think another time I'll try and incorporate them, if there's more in the next kit, into my layout. But I'm quite clean, I guess, in my style. I do mixed media, but not too full on. So these are the papers that really stood out to me. And also I knew I wanted to scrap these two little photos of Brielle. And that's her on Azaria's birthday, and she's just having a go at ice skating for the first time. We have a winter festival here in Queenstown. It's world famous, so you may have heard of it. And every year for the past, I'm not sure how many years, but they put this big ice rink up, and it goes over, or it straddles a river, little river or creek that runs through the centre of town on our village green. And so for Azaria's birthday we went ice skating, and this was Brielle's first time, and she was so cute behind the penguin and very determined. Every time I tried to take a photo or help her, she got annoyed at me. But I did manage to get these two photos of her smiling. So what I'm doing is trying to work out what paper I want to use for my background. I knew that I wanted this layout to be A4 sized, or 8.5 by 11 inches, and so I thought that was a perfect way to showcase a full sheet of the paper. Because I don't have a 12 by 12 printer, I have to print these out at A4, and I print them on some paper that I get from Warehouse Stationery. I think it's called Card. I know that's not very scientific, but it is, and it is acid free, and so it's in between a cardstock and a copy paper. It probably has a weight that is slightly less than pattern paper, but it works perfectly well with cutting out these papers. So I got to the point where nothing was really working with those photos. I would have loved to have used the wood grain, but the tones weren't quite right with the pink in her jacket. I love that spot on pink, so I went with that to back the word you, and then I just took the little inside of the O off my Cameo mat and I'm gluing it down onto that tag. So I've gone with white cardstock, which is what I gravitate to very often when I don't know what else to do, or it's like my comfort, I guess, my safety zone of falling back onto white cardstock. So it works really well because it doesn't label papers and other elements to pop, and it does mean I can do a little bit of misting. So these are the cut apart ephemera or die cut pieces, and I'm just cutting them out. As I said at the beginning, you could cut them, do a print and cut on your silhouette, and I will do this eventually. Like I said, I just need to learn how to do it again. So I'm just fussy cutting around them, and they turn out fine. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. Of course, if you don't have a Cameo, you have to do it that way. So that's a little pair of double hearts. I think they're really sweet, and I like that position where I've got them there. So now, what am I doing? Going through the papers again, just to have a look, to see what to add. And I loved this. It's like an off-white or cream, not even cream, probably more off-white and black stripe with beautiful pink hearts on it. And I really knew that I wanted to feature it, and I wanted to feature it in a big way. So I knew that I was either going to have it at the top or bottom of my page, and I decided to go with the bottom, and I think it anchors the floating, I was going to say the floatiness of the tag in the photo. So it anchors my elements. So I'm liking how that looks. And then I wanted to add some mist, and so I grabbed some Heidi Swap Colour Shine and my favourite pink, because I think there's pale pink, rose, and then a dark pink, and I really should have added gold. I don't know why I didn't. Yeah, I don't get it at all, to be honest, but anyway, this is what I went for, and I, for the first time ever, didn't even think about adding gold. So I've got my splatters, and I've got them in a way that I want my photos to be seen. Obviously they're the feature, but I do want the splatters to be seen, and I've got some at the top for where I'm going to put that love this little banner that I've cut out. And my intention is to machine stitch the top edge of where it's torn, so I've just put some double-sided tape on 3 of the edges, just guessing to where I'm going to go to, and I just put some in the middle. I don't show you me removing the backing because that's just really boring. And here I make a mistake and I stick it down kind of uneven. You know when you're trying not to make a mess and then you make a mess? Well, I was trying not to do this, and that's exactly what happened. But anyway, there's nothing I can do. I tried to pull it up and I ripped a bit of it at the bottom, but actually on top of the cardstock. So I've just trimmed off the excess, and I will deal with that ripped piece later. At this point I just thought I'm just going to go with it and not even be bothered. So here I'm cutting some washi, and then I'm about to show you Ava. She crawled over, so there she is. She's nearly 15 months. She doesn't look that happy there, but she actually is. So now I am just positioning my elements. Everything's dried. I've done the machine stitching. I've cut that washi. You want to make sure that the heart is the right way up. It's only partial heart, but you definitely want to make sure it's the right way up, and that will so that it looks authentic, you know what I mean? So just working on the positioning, and like I say, that is not real washi. That is washi that Tanya has designed, and you can just cut them out. So I'm committing now to gluing my elements down. In this video I'm mostly using liquid adhesive because it's quicker, because I really have limited time to get this done. School holidays are nearly finished. I'm recording this, doing the voiceover today, which is Wednesday, and school has officially gone back for the year here in New Zealand, so all the parents are very happy, no doubt. Yeah, so for me, it doesn't necessarily mean more scrapbooking time, it means more time to get work done. So I have got some baker's twine there, just from my stash, and I'm just, I will fiddle around with it because I'm quite particular with bows. So the way to get that I get my bows looking good before I fiddle with them is to tie them upside down, and that ensures that the top bits of the bow are at the top and the tails come down, if that makes sense. So if you have a go yourself, try both ways and see which works for you. You'll probably find that it looks better if you do it upside down as well. So here are the labels, and I absolutely love these. Once again, they are designed by Tanya, and you just print them out. So I have printed them at the size that she had them, but you could make them larger if you wanted to, and that's the joy of a digital kit. So I'm just gluing that there. I'm going to add my journaling, or some of my journaling, on there. I did think about adding something else to the title, not so it wasn't just you, but in the end I just go with it. So I have put my photos on some foam, and you can just get that from Warehouse Stationery if you're in New Zealand. I think it's about $5 for 10. And it doesn't matter what colour they are because you're not going to see them. It will just save you money on foam tape, which can be really expensive. These are some dimensionals from Stampin' Up, which I absolutely love, and they're perfect for small elements. I've just stacked up a couple there, and you'll notice that nothing goes to waste. I even use the edge because they're hexagon shaped, but around the edge is extra foam essentially. So now I'm gluing in that little banner, and I'm going to pop that up at the bottom with some dimensional adhesive as well. I like my pages to not be flat. I like them to have movement, I like them to have texture, and I certainly like them to have dimension. So I don't make that many of this size, but I think it's good in your album to have some variety. I learnt that from Chamel many years ago, and I haven't been able to find page protectors that will fit this size here in New Zealand, so I just get the A4 sized file pockets once again at Warehouse Stationery, and I just put my layouts in there, and they do fit within the D-ring albums. So here I'm now doing my embellishing, which is probably my favourite part of the layout, or of any layout, and just popping some elements up on foam or a dimensional adhesive. These are hearts that are fussy cut from that beautiful paper. I love the shape of those hearts, they're just gorgeous. And that's another one, and I'm just going to put that at the top by that banner. Nearly finished now. Once again, I didn't think to add any gold splatters, but I probably could have. Just adding my journaling, saying that it's her first time skating for Azaria's birthday. Well, it's her first time skating ever, but the reason for going was for Azaria. And then I've got these, I think they're close to my heart, gold gems, or like enamel, but they're more like a gem. And I'm just putting 2 in each of my clusters, and that will do it, I think. The only other thing I'm going to do is add some staples. Oh, I forgot to say. Yeah, I had to deal with this little rip. You can see it there at the bottom. And so I thought maybe 2 more pieces of this washi would be the way to go. I also needed to add something below the tag. I felt that it was a bit stark. So I added some of that glitter washi. And then there are 2 more pieces of washi that are glittery. And of course it's printed on, but it looks very realistic. And I will add that at the bottom to cover that little rip. Also, one way that you can add more dimension is to put your dimension behind elements and partially lift up things. I did that with the top banner. I've also done that with the tag, just underneath where, I guess, it's lifted anyway because I put the baker's twine, but I've just lifted the top up. So there are those 2 little bits of washi. One is that sort of dark red colour, like claret, and the other one is black. And just glued them on, and they cover up that little rip perfectly. And just to ensure they stay there forever, I've used a couple of staples at the top and bottom. So I hope you enjoyed this. That's my final layout. I am hopefully making some more videos, and will try and get some more done for Tanya Leigh Designz. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll have the link to her site below. Take care.